Hello, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Kami ang Group 6 at aming ibabahagi sa inyo ang aming topic na tungkol sa gender diversity in social administration. So before anything else, let me introduce my group mates with you, named Malbert Benson, Joy Marisol, Marcus Vito, John Carlo Roldan, and of course, Elizabeth Rata. Since our topic is about gender and diversity, we will first tackle what is gender diversity. Of course, I have a subtopics here about the benefits of ensuring gender diversity in the workplace, ways to promote gender diversity in the workplace. But before anything else, let me introduce myself with you. I am Yusel Faith of the Vicencio. But without further ado, let's continue. So, ano nga ba ang gender diversity? Pag napapakinggan ninyo ang words na ito, ano ba ang pumapasok sa isip ninyo? Okay, so dito, sabi, gender diversity in the workplace is a critical component of a thriving, inclusive environment. So, of course, ito is all about nga niya siya sa gender and diversity. When we say diversity, it's all about inclusion. Ano, it's all about fairness and equality. At dito, paano ba na-apply ang gender and diversity in terms of social administration or in terms of workplace? So, it is a critical component para magkaroon ng inclusive environment sa lahat ng gender. Dito din is pumapasok din yung gender fair environment. So, it involves equitable representation and treatment of all gender identities. Ano man ang kanilang pronouns, they are all accepted here dito sa gender and diversity. Ensuring that everyone is valued, yan, for their unique contribution and has unequal opportunities for growth and success within the organization. So, ngayon, pag-usapan natin, what are the benefits of ensuring gender diversity in the workplace? Bakit ba mahalaga na merong inclusion? Bakit ba mahalaga na merong fairness? At bakit mahalaga na binu-value ang bawat isa, ano man ang kanilang gender identity or ano man yung pronouns na uh, tinatawag sa kanila. So, ating alamin. So, number one is it provides a broader range of skills and perspectives. So, if ang isang environment or isang administration or workplace ay um, na-ensure yung gender diversity, merong broader range of skills and perspectives. Kasi halo-halo lang yun eh. Hindi lang puro babae, hindi lang kaalaman ng lalaki, kundi lahat na, pati, the third sex is pasok dito. Next one is increased innovation and creativity. Yun yung benefits niya. So, dahil everyone are working together, so the increase of creativity, the creative juices, and the innovation ay patuloy na umiikot. And it is very systematic, if we talk about innovation and creativity. Next one is benefits ito is better decision making and problem solving. So if place ay mayroong gender and diversity, binavalue siya doon sa environment na yon, madali na madaling i-process ang mga sigalot na may experience kasi nga ni yun andun yung pagiging healthy and dun sa around the environment. So, ang decision, ang planning, ang problem solving ay um yun yung yun yung makikita natin under the gender diversity in the workplace. Next one is enhanced company reputation. So if ang isang company is andun yung pag-value nila sa gender and diversity, of course yung reputation ng company na yun is maganda. Na, di ba, yung word of mouth na, yung company na yan is, they are, they're fair in terms of gender. Uh, Dyan sa company na yan is binavalue ang inclusivity. So, ini-include yun, so, ang benefits nun sa company is a good reputation. Next one is, it can improve team collaboration. Since meron nga ning pagkakaintindihan and binavalue ang bawat isa, of course, may improve yung collaboration ng mga bosses, ng mga staffs, lahat ng under dun sa administration na yun is they can work collaboratively and they can work efficiently because they value the gender and diversity. Next one is improve employee satisfaction and retention. Since nararamdaman ng workers na sila ay valued dahil nararamdaman nila na ini-include sila doon sa environment na yun. Of course, ang tendency niyan is mag-renew yung mga workers na dito na lang ako kasi I am seen, I am valued, I am heard, and yung satisfaction and retention ng employee is makikita natin na mataas yung rate dahil nga ni yung sense of belongingness ay nararamdaman. And the next one is higher profit. So since nga ni this company or the workplace ay madaming staff na nandun yung kaayusan, the better decision making, problem solving, maayos yung reputation, of course, mas mataas yung profit na mai-earn or ma-add or makukontribute doon sa isang company na yun or workplace na yun. And siguro kabilang na din dito is syempre if mataas ang profit is damay din doon yung workers, 'di ba? If mataas ang pumapasok na pera doon sa isang excuse me. If mataas ang pumapasok na pera sa isang company, then of course the compensation for the workers ay maayos din. So, ito naman, pag-usapan natin ways to promote gender diversity in the workplace. And bakit ba mahalaga na ating i-promote ang gender diversity sa pinagtatrabahuhan? Number one, it implement gender-neutral hiring practices. Walang, alam niyo yung dinedegrade yung dahil babae ka, dahil lalaki ka, dahil kasali ka sa LGBTQ community, ay hindi ka pasok dito sa work na ito. Kundi, hindi man, dahil pinopromote ng workplace na ito yung gender-neutral hiring practices na everyone ay free to to enjoy yung freedom nila para maging employee sa isang workplace regardless of their gender identities. Next one is it offers flexible working conditions. So dito is ating mapapansin that meron may mga pictures, no? And dito is binavalue dahil nga value yung workers is hindi man walang biases. They can work through virtually, they can work sa on-site, they have day off or holidays, they can live, and nagiging flexible sila dun sa kanilang pagtatrabaho dahil dito sa um, mga conditions na ino-offer ng isang environment or company. The third one is it establish mentorship programs for underrepresented genders. So, isang ways to promote yung gender diversity is magkaroon ng mentorship or trainings about sa mga underrepresented genders. But again, regardless of any gender ito pumapasok na inaaral na this is how it works. Ganito dapat pahalagahan ang bawat worker ano man ang kanilang um, gender roles and identities. In addition dito is para maging oriented din ang bawat isa na bina-value natin sa lipunan natin ano man yung mga preferences natin and we respect it. And sa pamamagitan nito, hindi din ito ang reason for us not to work efficiently and effectively. Sa dito, yun yung pinopromote ng gender and diversity in the workplace. Part one is to ensure equal pay for equal work. Nakalagay dyan, equal pay for equal work. So dahil nga ni our topic values inclusivity, fairness, equality. Of course, yung kita din or compensation is according din siya dun sa ginawang trabaho noong worker. Hindi doesn't mean na um, halimbawa, hindi man dahil ikaw ay girl or boy or ano pa mang preferences, meron kang advantage in terms of your compensation. Hindi siya ganun. So dito is they ensure that ano man yung trabahong ginawa mo, yung kalidad ng work mo, and yung napag-usapan sa, let's say, interview or dun sa pinirmahan ninyo na ito yung work mo or compensation na may-receive mo, then yun yung may-receive mo. Then the fifth one is it provides diversity, equity, and inclusion training and awareness programs. So when we say diversity, again, it's all about inclusion. And pag sinabi naman natin equity, there is a difference between equality and equity. Equality is fair, yung parang parehas na matatanggap. Halimbawa, sa scholarship, medyo layo-layo muna tayo. Sa scholarship, ang binigay doon is na rate is 3,000. So, magiging equality yun or magiging equal yun if ang marireceive ka as a student is 3K and na marireceive din ng um, isang student is 3K. But magiging equity siya. Halimbawa, alam mo yung, ito na yung basihan ng pagiging disadvantage. Me is buo ako, wala akong sakit, and yung kasamahan ka is PWD. So, dahil wala naman akong disabilities or hindi naman ako disadvantage, so, ang marireceive ko is yung something na um, dapat for me. Pero dun sa kasamahan ko na yun na PWD, halimbawa, is ito yung marireceive niya na something na may addition kasi disadvantage siya. Halimbawa, sa upuan, kailangan yung sumilip dun sa, naman nanonood kayong basketball, kailangan hindi mapanood ng iyong kasama kasi sabihin natin pandak siya or maliit siya, ikaw kita mo. At ang gagawin mo doon ay bibigyan mo siya ng upuan para same level kayo na nakikita ninyo yung napapanood nyo. So sana nagigets ninyo. So yun, dito sa gender and diversity, na pinopromote dito yung diversity, yung equity, and yung inclusion. Or in three letters, it's DEA or Day Training and Awareness Programs. So the sixth one is it promotes inclusive leadership. So dahil nga we value gender and diversity or gender, hindi lang tayo wala tapos na tayo sa pag-stereotype na dapat ang leader ay lalaki lamang. Hindi. Siya ay pumapasok sa lahat ng aspeto anuman ang gender roles mo. At ito yung inclusive leadership for all. Kagaya niyan, halimbawa, PWD man yan, ano man ang gender niyan, ano man yung situation ng taong yun, ano man siya, ay maaari siyang mag-lead. At sunod is encourage gender diversity on leadership teams. So, if ang team leader is binavalue din ang gender diversity sa workplace, magiging maayos ng lahat kasi mawawala yung biases niya. At ganun din yung susundan ng kanyang mga team members or yung subordinates niya. So, ini-encourage na ang leadership teams ay pinopromote ang gender diversity. Excuse me. Okay, the eighth one is dito is ang ways is to implement policies against discrimination and harassment. And why is it important that we implement policies na that can be that can be against discrimination and harassment. Because policies prohibiting discrimination and harassment in the workplace are essential to ensure that all employees are operate in a safe and supportive environment. How nice it is if we work in an environment na wala tayong naririnig na chismisan na discrimination na ganyan ka kasi, di ba? Na wala tayong experience na harassment. So, it is nice na mapapractice yung ganito. Kasi mula dito is yung employees ay na nararamdaman nila that they are safe and they have a supportive environment. Okay, so that's all for gender diversity, and we will now move to one of the top subtopics of my topic. It's about religious and non-religious perspective inside social administration. So ano ba ang views or perspectives or perception sa loob ng religious and non-religious inside social administration at ano yung pinagkaiba nila? So ating alamin. So, gender and diversity, religious versus non-religious perspective. Gender equality in the workplace. There is a general consensus that gender equality in the workplace has improved over the past 2 decades. So, ibig sabihin, 20 years lang nakakalipas na ang dami na improvements in terms of gender equality in the workplace. And sabi dito, men are more likely to recognize this progress. And while women are more likely to feel that change has been slower or insufficient. And maybe the reason why is, di ba, nakasanayan natin na ang nagli-lead lang sa isang group na sanay tayo na ang isang boss ay lalaki. So of course, as time goes by, ma-realize ng mga men that, hala, nabibigyan na din pala ng spotlight rather, ang women in terms of leading, in terms of sa pag-work, na hindi lang sila pala mananatili sa loob ng tahanan. Meron din pala silang capabilities or kapasidad na magtrabaho din. Pero dito sa sunod na sentence, women are more likely to feel that change has been slower or insufficient. And siguro dahil din yun sa yung stigma na hindi, na dito ka lang. Alam mo yun, yun kasi na isa sa tradition or mentality, no, not tradition, but mentality na rin na instill sa mga tao ngayon, even to women. But, di ba, it is nice na hindi na ganun. Na-break na yung pag-stereotype sa bagay na yun. There is an equality na. And so this discrepancy highlights that while structural advancement may have been made, workplace cultures may not always reflect real equality. And sadly, it is true na most of the workplace or social administration is hindi pa rin talaga napapractice ang real equality. That is why we are pursuing and we are tackling about this topic, that how important it is na we value the gender and diversity in terms of workplace. But let's go back to our main topic about the religious and non-religious perspectives. So, um, the role of religion in the workplace, religious diversity. So when we say religious diversity, in increasingly diverse workplaces, employees from different religious backgrounds are more common. This shift can create opportunities for more inclusive environments that respect religious practices. So we also have existing workplaces na nandun yung respect sa anumang religious beliefs ng mga employees. Ano man yung practices na kanilang ginagawa is they respect that. Such as accommodating prayer times, di ba? Meron na din tayong mga workplace ngayon na nagkakaroon ng prayer muna bago mag-work, or they also cater na magkaroon muna ng mga short devotion before mag-start. So, depende yun sa mga preferences ng workplace. And ito is binavalue din dito sa religious diversity. So, we also have religious holidays like Christmas, di ba? And sa mga Muslims, so meron silang Ramadan. And that religious workplace is kanilang nire-respeto yun. And it is tanggap doon sa place na yon or dietary restriction. So, magkaroon tayo muna dito ng differences about religious and non-religious once again. So, traditional gender roles under the religious. Many religious institutions, particularly the conservative ones, adhere to traditional gender roles based on religious texts or teaching. So they only uh they only recognize the two genders according to the traditional gender roles na base sa religion. The male and female. So these roles often emphasize distinction between men and women, such as men's leadership in family or spiritual life and women's roles in caregiving or nurturing. So pag daw lalaki is they're the one who leads their family. And when it's women, they're the one who nurture and give care to their family. So sa non-religious naman, ang binavalue dito or pinopromote is the gender equality and rights-based framework. So ano ba yung karapatan ng bawat mamamayan regardless of their gender roles? So secular organization typically adopt a more egalitarian or egalitarian approach to gender. So when we say egalitarian or egalitarian, ano man po ang pronunciation nito, ang ibig sabihin po nito is, excuse me po, ibig sabihin po ng term na ito is inclusion pa rin, ano, or equality. Emphasizing equality in rights. So, ano ba ang karapatan nitong taong ito? Ano ba ang opportunities na pwede sa kanya? Kasi meron siyang kakayanan, meron siyang kapasidad, and representation for all genders. So, this includes non-binary, transgender inclusion. So, ano man yung their, yun nga, sinabi ko, kung part mo sa third sex or um, they are included. And also based on principle of universal human rights. Next one, progressive religious movements. However, some religious groups actively promote gender equality, seeing it as aligned with justice and compassion in their faith. So, ang group na ito is nagwo-work within the religious framework to challenge traditional gender norms. While in gender-inclusive programs, ang secular social programs ay na meron silang inclusive or different gender identities expressions, di ba? So, ang programs ito ay designed to be gender neutral or gender inclusive. So, this work, welcome ka dito, ano man yung roles mo. So, gender roles mo rather on equal access to service regardless of gender. So another one for non-religious, it focus on gender equality and empowerment. So non-religious approaches often focus on empowering women and marginalized genders by addressing systematic inequalities such as pay gaps, discrimination, and underrepresented in leadership. So here they empower everyone, especially the women, because women is part of the vulnerable sectors, right? And also the marginalized genders by, yun nga, through addressing systematic inequalities. Ito dapat yung nare-receive nila, ito dapat ang trato, they should be included. Ito ang paninindigan ng non-religious. At ayan, so that's all for non-religious and religious. So in conclusion, religious approaches to gender diversity often reflect traditional values and gender roles. Ano, so, dito is yun nga, yung gender diversity, meron naman, pero meron lamang bagang batayan or limitation dahil meron silang kinukonsider that is concerning about their faith and religion. Though some progressive religious movements advocate for gender equality, there's a, of course, there are still religious movements that advocate for gender equality. Okay, but non-religious approaches typically emphasize gender inclusivity, that pagtanggap, uh, fairness, and elimination of gender-based discrimination across the board. So that would be all for my topic, what is diversity and religious and versus non-religious in the workplace. Thank you so much.
Good day everyone, I am Maricris RV2, reporting about the gender diversity in social administrations. Ano nga ba ang gender diversity in social administrations? Gender diversity is the equitable representation of people across the various genders. Tumutukoy ito sa pagkilala sa iba't ibang kasarian dahil ang gender diversity ay higit pa sa tradisyonal na pagkakakilala natin sa dalawang kasarian. Yun nga yung lalaki at yun yung babae. Bagkos, dito sa gender diversity ay kasama rin dito yung mga taong may non-binary identity, transgender, gender fluids, at iba pang uri ng gender expressions. So, sa social administration, mahalaga yung pagkakakilala natin sa mga ito dahil mas mauunawaan natin ang pangangailangan ng bawat isa at magkaroon ng pantay-pantay na representasyon ang lahat ng kasarian sa paggawa ng desisyon at sa pagpapatupad ng mga programa at sa mga trabaho na rin sa sektor ng ating lipunan. Sabi nga dito is typically focusing daw on balancing the ratio of men and women while incorporating non-binary, transgender, and individuals. This concept aims to acknowledge and respect diverse gender identities and expression moving beyond a binary frameworks. So, ang social administration ay mahalaga ang gender diversity upang lumikha ng mga programa at pulisiya na inklusibo at sensitibo sa lahat ng kasarian. According to Aker Theory of Gendered Organizations, which looks at how organizational structures, including the one in social administration, is gendered. Ang gender diversity ayon kay Aker ay tumutukoy sa pagkakaiba-iba ng mga kasarian sa loob ng isang organization at kung paano ito naaapektuhan ng organizational structures at ng mga process. Sa kanyang teorya, ipinakikita niya kung paano ang mga organizational structures katulad ng social administration ay may impluwensya sa paglikha sa pananatili ng mga gender inequalities or pagkakaiba-iba sa pagitan ng mga kasarian. Sa madaling salita, ang gender diversity ay hindi lamang tungkol sa pagkakaroon ng iba't ibang kasarian sa isang organizations, kundi pati na rin kung paano ang estruktura at patakaran ng organization ay bumuo at nagpapalakas sa pagkakaiba-iba ng mga ito. In her thought-provoking papers, Aker makes a theoretical model for explaining how gender diversity is or is not constructed and reproduced in organizations, and thus make a resource of assessing and enhancing the gender relations. So, si Joan Aker ay bumuo ng isang theoretical model. Doon, nagpapaliwanag kung paano nabuo at napapanatili ang gender diversity or pagkakaiba-iba ng kasarian sa mga organizations. Sa pamamagitan ng theoretical model na ito, kanyang ipinakita kung paano ang mga structures, patakaran at proseso sa loob ng mga organisasyon ay maaaring magpalakas o maaari din maghadlang sa mga pantay na pagtrato sa mga kasarian. Ang modelo na ito ni Aker ay nagsisilbing gabay para masuri kung paano ang gender diversity ay umiiral sa lugar ng trabaho at kung paano makahanap ng mga paraan upang mapabuti ang mga ito. Sa madaling salita, ang kanyang mga teorya ay naging mahalaga batayan para sa pagsusuri at pagpapabuti ng gender relationship sa mga organizations.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Malbert Albenzen, and I'm here to report to you our topic for today. And I will discuss to you the role of gender and diversity in social administration. Second is realities associated with gender and diversity promotion. And last is ethnic gender. So let's start na po. So when we say social administration, it is similar to public administration because it entails the administration of social services with aim to enhancing the welfare of society, subscribing to the principles of gender inclusion and diversity. And this area makes sure that every member in a community is accommodated regardless of his or her gender, ethnic background, and age or crippled. It emphasizes of gender and diversity sensitivity in social administration, enable achievements of fairness in the society, support social justice and efficient delivery of social services. So, bali po ito po ay nag-emphasize na po yung tamang pagtrato sa bawat gender, yung walang pinipiling, walang sinisiraan at irespeto po ang bawat isang tao. Kung ano man yung kasarian na dapat tanggapin niya at respeto at palagan bagkus sila ay tao lamang at pantay-pantay lamang po tayo dito. And role of gender and diversity in social administration. So meron po itong gender sensitivity. So ang gender sensitivity in social administration means that policies and programs should not sustain the unequal gender divider but change it. So ang gender sensitivity o sa Tagalog ay sensitibidad sa kasarian, ito ay nangangahulugan ang mga polisiya at programa ay dapat magtrabaho at ituwid ang hindi pagkakapantay-pantay na pagitan ng kasarian po. Halimbawa, dapat bigyang pansin ang pangangailangan ng mga babae sa medical na care, sa kanilang mga karapatan sa trabaho at proteksyon mula sa karahasan. Ang layunin ay tiyakin na pahalagan po ang kanyang kasarian at ng iba pang mga gender. So pangalawa naman po ay ang diversity inclusion. Diversity in social administration involves showing respect for the cultural, racial, as well as ethnic differences among clients. It also consists of understanding the requirements of disabled population, homosexual, bisexual person, and others subsequently. There is no need to find a way through which services and made available to everyone, appropriate ways, and hence normally referred diverse approach to social administration. So, ang explanation ko po dito, ang diversity inclusion po ay pagsama-sama ng ibang grupo. Ang diversity inclusion ay nagpapakita ng respeto sa mga pagkakaiba sa kultura, lahi, etniko ng mga tao. Kasama dito ang pag-unawa sa mga pangangailangan ng may mga kapansanan, homosexual, bisexual at iba pa. Ang layunin ay tiyakin ang mga serbisyo at maabot lahat ng mga angkop na paraan upang lahat ay makinabang ng pantay-pantay. So next po ay realities associated with gender and diversity promotion. So despite the recognized importance, there is significant challenges to promoting gender and diversity in social administration. Despite recognized importance, there are significant challenges in promoting gender and diversity in social administration. So, meron po itong structural barriers po. So, most of the institutions have their background in history, and these practices are not always friendly to gender and diversity. These structural barriers acting as hindrance to the achievement of includes policies. So, ang explanation po dito ay ang structural barriers o structural na hadlang ay ang social institution o tulad ng mga ahensya o organisasyon ay may kasaysayan at kaugalian na pamamaraan na maaring hindi nakakasupport sa gender na diversity at nagiging mahirap para sa kanila ang gumawa ng mga polisiya na makakabuti para sa lahat ng tao at sa lahat ng mga gender na pinapaprotektahan at pinapahalagan sila. Pangalawa naman po ay lack of awareness and training. This leads to a lack of understanding and recognition among the social workers, and even the administration with the issues of gender diversity. This can culminate in basis in delivery of services without necessarily intending to do. So, explanation po dito ay lack of awareness and training, ang kakulangan sa pagkakaalam at pagsasanay ay kundi ang sapat na kaalaman at pagsasanay ng mga social workers at administrador tungkol sa mga gender at diversity ay maaari sila magkaroon ng bias o hindi makatarungang serbisyo kahit hindi nila sinasadya. So ang pangatlo naman po ay ang resistance to change. There are cultural or personal reasons where some of the stakeholders will be very much against change that recognize gender of diversity. So, ang explanation po dito ay ang resistance to change ay paglaban sa pagbabago. May mga tao na dahil sa kanilang kultura o personal na paniniwala ay hindi gustong magbago o tanggapin ng mga polisiya na natataguyod ng gender at diversity. At ang last naman po ay ethnic gender. Pag sinabi naman natin ethnic gender, the term ethnic gender in the workplace concerns how different features such as ethnicity, race, culture, nationality, and gender, male, female, non-binary, etc., interact and create experiences in professional environments. It's all about how one's identity as individual, especially among women and non-binary persons with minority ethnic and background can make them encounter unique challenges and discrimination based on both ethnic and gender identities. So, ang explanation po dito ay dahil sa iba't ibang uri ng kasarian na nagkakaroon ng conflict dito, nagkakaroon ng diskriminasyon sa bawat kasarian, lalo na po ang LGBTQA+ community. Dahil sa kanilang kasarian ay hindi sila matanggap ng bawat isa dahil sa kultura at iba pang mga rason. Ang ethnic gender ay trabaho tumutukoy sa pagsama-sama ng katangian tulad ng etnisidad, lahi, kultura, nasyonalidad at kasarian, lalaki, babae o non-binary at iba pa. Ay magiging dahilan ng mga karanasan ng mga tao sa propesyon. Ang ibig sabihin nito ay kung paano pagkakakilanlan ng isang tao ay lalo ng mga kababaihan at non-binary at mula sa mga minoryang etniko na naging sanhi sa pagkakaranas ng mga natatanging hamon o diskriminasyon dahil sa kanilang lahi na nagbabago sa kanilang pag-iisip at bilang tao na rin sa mundo kung paano sila nabibilang sa gender ethnicity. Lamang po at maraming salamat po.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmate. My name is Joy Maris Waisol. Ang a-discuss ko po ngayon ay tungkol sa gender diversity in social administration. At ang focus po ng aking topic dito ay understanding gender diversity and respect and inclusivity. Ngayon, dumako na po tayo sa understanding gender diversity. Gender diversity is an umbrella terms that encompasses a range of gender identities beyond the male and female binary. Next, many gender diverse people find the concept of gender binary containing and preferring the freedom to express themselves in a different way. Next, gender diverse individuals may understanding themselves as a differently gender of as having or no gender at all. Ang gender diversity daw po ay tumutukoy sa pagkakaroon ng iba't ibang kasarian na hindi limitado sa pagiging lalaki o babae. Ibig sabihin nito, hindi lang dalawa ang uri ng kasarian. Meron pang ibang uri ng kasarian na maaaring kinikilala ng isang tao. Ang halimbawa po nito ay non-binary, mga taong hindi nakikita ang kanilang sarili bilang lalaki o babae. At ang sunod naman po na kasarian ay transgender. Sa transgender ay ang mga taong ang kanilang kasarian ay iba sa kasarian na tinalaga sa kanila noong pinanganak sila. Sunod, gender fluid, mga taong ay nagbabago-bago ng kasarian, minsan lalaki, minsan babae o iba pa. Sa madaling salita po nito, ang gender diversity ay pagkakilala sa lahat ng uri ng kasarian at pagtanggap sa kanila anuman ang kanilang pagkakakilanlan. Ngayon, dumako na po tayo sa sunod na aking tatalakayin, respect and inclusivity. Respect an individual's names and pronunciation change is important, just we learn to respect name change when people get married. Next, making mistake with names and pronouns is understandable, but it's important to practice and get it reached constantly. Next, inclusivity towards gender diverse individual benefits everyone, not just the gender diversity community. Ngayon, dumako na po tayo sa respect and diversity. Ito daw po ay mahalaga ang paggalang sa pagbago ng pangalan ng bawat isa at katulad ng paggalang natin sa mga nagpapalit ng apelyido kapag sila ay nagpakasal. Halimbawa po nito ay kung dati ay tinatawag na Ana ang isang tao pero pinalitang gamitin ang pangalan na Alex, dapat nating tawagin siya sa bago niyang pangalan bilang paggalang. Ang isang halimbawa pa po nito ay kapag naikasal ang isang babae at napalitan na ito ng apelyido ng kanyang asawang lalaki, ay dapat natin igalang dahil yun ay isa sa ating tradisyon. Halimbawa, si Carla Garcia ay kinasal na sa kanyang magiging asawa at ang apelyido ng kanyang asawa ay Ramos. Ang gamitin na dapat ni Carla ay Ramos dahil kasal na sila. Ang pagrespeto sa pangalan at pag-pronounce nito ng maayos ay isang paraan ng pagpapakita ng respeto at suporta sa pagkakalanlan ng bawat tao. Natural lang na magkamali tayo sa paggamit ng pangalan at pagbigkas ng tamang pangalan ng isang tao. Pero mahalaga na sikapan nating itama ito at gamitin ng tama sa palagi. Ang pagiging eksklusibo o pagtanggap ng mga taong may iba't ibang kasarian ay makakabuti hindi lang sa kanila kundi para sa lahat. Ibig sabihin, kapag tanggap at kinagalang natin ang bawat isa anuman ang kanilang kasarian, mas nagiging maayos at maganda ang ating komunidad. Dito na po nagtatapos ang aking report. Maraming salamat po.
Everyone, I am Giancarlo Pirondan and I'm going to discuss the advocacy and empowerment. Number 1 is promoting gender and diversity awareness. Pag sinabi mo natin promoting gender and diversity awareness, social administrators play a key role in advocating for policies that promote gender equality and diversity. Ibig sabihin po, yung mga social administrators ay nag-a-advocate sila ng mga policies na makakapag-promote ng gender equality and diversity. Naka-include po dito yung raising awareness about issues such as gender-based violence. Ibig sabihin, nag-base sa gender or yung discrimination. Katulad ng kunwari is yung sa indigenous people, ina-discriminate sila based sa nakikita sa kanila ng tao, and the rights of minority groups. Number 2 naman po is empowering marginalized groups. Ibig sabihin po nito is social administration should focus on empowering marginalized groups by providing them with the tools and resources they need to advocate for their own rights and participate fully in society. Ibig sabihin naman po nito is nagpo-focus po sila para ma-empower nila yung mga marginalized groups by providing po ng mga tools na kanilang kailangan, yung makakatulong sa kanila para makapag-participate sila makapag-fully participate sila sa society. At ito yung makakapagpa-improve ng kanilang pamumuhay. And next naman po is yung challenges and considerations. Pag sinabi po natin challenges and consideration, dito na po pumapasok yung intersectionality. Addressing gender and diversity in social administration requires an intersectional approach, considering how various forms of discrimination, example is gender, race, class, intersect and impact individuals differently. Ibig sabihin naman po nito is nila yung pagkakaiba ng mga discrimination. Tinitingnan nila yung sa gender, yung sa race, sa class, tapos tinitingnan nila yung impact nito sa bawat isa, kung ano ba yung mga iba't ibang impact nito sa bawat isa. And number 2 naman po is yung resistance change. Implementing gender and diversity sensitive policies can face resistance due to ingrained biases in societal norms. Social administrators must work to overcome these challenges through education, advocacy, and inclusive practices. Ibig sabihin po nito, nag-implement sila ng mga policy na makakatulong dun sa mga tao na para maano nila yung challenges na ito is gagamit sila ng education, ituturo yan sa advocacy and sa inclusive practices. At nakakatulong pa ito para mas mabago yung tingin sa kanilang society. Kunwari sa indigenous people, parang ina-advocate nila yung para makasabay sila sa pamumuhay ngayon. Ibig sabihin, yung hinihikayat nila na pumasok sa school para matutunan yung iba't ibang inaturo. Tapos, para mas mabago yung daloy ng kanilang pamumuhay. And yun lang yun po yung aking part. Thank you po.
Good day everyone, my name is Elizabeth Roto and today I will discuss the primary goal of gender diversity. A primary goal of integrating gender and diversity consideration into social work administration is to promote equity, inclusion, and representation in all aspects of services delivery and organizational practices. First is ensuring fair access. Developing policies and practices that ensure all individuals, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, or other identities, have equal access to social services and support. This goal of focus on creating policies and practices that guarantee equal access to social services for everyone regardless of their gender, race, ethnicity, or other identities. Ito ay nangangahulugang pagtugon sa anumang mga hadlang na maaaring pumigil sa ilang tao na makakuha ng suportang kanilang kinakailangan. Second is promoting inclusive practices, creating an environment where diverse perspectives are valued and integrated into decision-making process, program development, and services provision. Kasama dito ang paglikha ng isang kapaligiran kung saan ang iba't ibang pananaw ay pinahahalagahan at inaasalang-alang sa paggawa ng desisyon, pagbuo ng mga programa at paghahatid ng serbisyo. It ensures that different perspectives are included and influence how services are designed and implemented. Third is addressing discrimination. Identifying and eliminating biases and systemic barriers that contribute to unequal treatment or outcomes for different demographic groups. This goal aims to identify and remove biases that lead to unequal treatment or outcomes among different demographic groups. Kasama rito ang pagkilala at pagwawasto sa mga hindi makatarungang practice na nagpapababa sa ilang grupo. Fourth is supporting diverse staff, recruiting, retaining, and promoting a diverse workforce while providing training and resources to support cultural competency and address issues of gender and diversity. Kasama dito ang mga pagsisikap na mag-recruit, mapanatili at iangat ang isang workforce na kumakatawan sa iba't ibang pinagmulan. It also includes providing trainings and resources to enhance cultural competency and address issues related to gender and diversity, ensuring that staff can effectively support a diverse client. Last is empowering client, ensuring that services are tailored to meet the unique needs of clients from diverse backgrounds and empowering them to participate fully in the planning and implementation of their own care. Nangangahulugan ito ng pag-angkop ng mga serbisyo upang matugunan ang tiyak na pangangailangan ng mga kliyente mula sa iba't ibang background at aktibong paglahok nila sa pagpaplano at pagpapatupad ng kanilang sariling pangangalaga. It ensures that clients have a voice in how services are provided and that their unique needs are addressed. Overall, this goal aims to improve the effectiveness of social services, promote social justice, and ensure that all individuals receive fair and equitable support. Ito ay naglalayong mapabuti ang bisa ng mga serbisyong panlipunan, itaguyod ang katarungang panlipunan at tiyakin na lahat ng individual ay tumatanggap ng makatarungan at pantay na suporta. Good day everyone, my name is Elizabeth Roto, and today I will discuss the primary goal of gender diversity. A primary goal of integrating gender and diversity consideration into social work administration is to promote equity, inclusion, and representation in all aspects of services delivery and organizational practices. First is ensuring fair access. Developing policies and practices that ensure all individuals, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, or other identities, have equal access to social services and support. This goal of focus on creating policies and practices that guarantee equal access to social services for everyone regardless of their gender, race, ethnicity, or other identities. Ito ay nangangahulugang pagtugon sa anumang mga hadlang na maaaring pumigil sa ilang tao na makakuha ng suportang kanilang kinakailangan. Second is promoting inclusive practices, creating an environment where diverse perspectives are valued and integrated into decision-making process, program development, and services provision. Kasama dito ang paglikha ng isang kapaligiran kung saan ang iba't ibang pananaw ay pinahahalagahan at inaasalang-alang sa paggawa ng desisyon, pagbuo ng mga programa at paghahatid ng serbisyo. It ensures that different perspectives are included and influence how services are designed and implemented. Third is addressing discrimination. Identifying and eliminating biases and systemic barriers that contribute to unequal treatment or outcomes for different demographic groups. This goal aims to identify and remove biases that lead to unequal treatment or outcomes among different demographic groups. Kasama rito ang pagkilala at pagwawasto sa mga hindi makatarungang practice na nagpapababa sa ilang grupo. Fourth is supporting diverse staff, recruiting, retaining, and promoting a diverse workforce while providing training and resources to support cultural competency and address issues of gender and diversity. Kasama dito ang mga pagsisikap na mag-recruit, mapanatili at iangat ang isang workforce na kumakatawan sa iba't ibang pinagmulan. It also includes providing trainings and resources to enhance cultural competency and address issues related to gender and diversity, ensuring that staff can effectively support a diverse client. Last is empowering client, ensuring that services are tailored to meet the unique needs of clients from diverse backgrounds and empowering them to participate fully in the planning and implementation of their own care. Nangangahulugan ito ng pag-angkop ng mga serbisyo upang matugunan ang tiyak na pangangailangan ng mga kliyente mula sa iba't ibang background at aktibong paglahok nila sa pagpaplano at pagpapatupad ng kanilang sariling pangangalaga. It ensures that clients have a voice in how services are provided and that their unique needs are addressed. Overall, this goal aims to improve the effectiveness of social services, promote social justice, and ensure that all individuals receive fair and equitable support. Ito ay naglalayong mapabuti ang bisa ng mga serbisyong panlipunan, itaguyod ang katarungang panlipunan at tiyakin na lahat ng individual ay tumatanggap ng makatarungan at pantay na suporta.